Okay, we are trying this again. We're going live from the phone. Um, I'm gonna wait for Ashley to get the notification. It's your girl Felicia Starks with Fabulous Wellness Studios, Felicia Starks Fitness, and our conversation today is gonna be a little bit different. Not talking about not how to lose fat or nothing like that. We're talking about how you go from being ripped to being round. The struggle with weight gain after doing a bodybuilding competition. And this was Ashley and I. There she is.
Hey, Felicia.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. It's
Good,
been
good. Well, clearly this only works on when we do it on our phone, huh? That's
yes,
good
and
to
I guess
know.
unless I would have did a StreamYard because I thought about that, but I wasn't
Okay.
sure. Yeah, so I was like, okay, I guess that's you got to be advanced for all of that.
Right.
But I was just welcoming everyone and letting them know what the video is about and what we had talked about this. I think towards the end of the year after you did your last competition,
Mm-hmm.
and it would have been a great time. I think the time is perfect now because we're going into the bodybuilding competition season. There
Right.
are a lot of people that I'm sure are going to be competing maybe for the second time or for the first time this year.
Mm-hmm.
So this is perfect timing.
Yeah.
So I want to introduce those, and hopefully, Ashley, hopefully you have shared this with.
Yeah.
Um,
Let me share now. Let's
okay.
see. Okay, I just shared it.
Okay, perfect. So I wanted to introduce formally everyone to Miss Ashley Nicole. But I'm going to read her information because I was like, I want to make sure the introduction is everyone to know that she has credentials. So Ashley is the founder of RA Warrior Fitness, master trainer, NFPT certified, GBO pro athlete, natural bodybuilding competitor, and she is switching division. She's going to tell us about that later.
Yes.
And if you don't know what RA is, you're going to find out because she has been a RA warrior for 19 years. She got diagnosed. She's had it for 19 years. So, Ashley, thank you for joining me and for sharing, for even just making sure that this happened because
Yes, absolutely. It needed to
um
happen. I mean, like this conversation, like I've been wanting to have this conversation for a while, but like you said, I think this is the perfect time because a lot of people are in prep now, gearing up for, upcoming competitions, and I'm gearing up again
yes,
myself.
yes,
So, yeah, this conversation definitely needs to be had because I know we're not alone in
yes.
this.
So tell us, please explain what RA is because there are some people that may not know what it is.
Yeah, sure. So RA is rheumatoid arthritis. And so rheumatoid arthritis is actually an autoimmune condition where the joints and the joints typically get inflamed, and that causes pain and inflammation, swelling, stiffness, fatigue, brain fog. Like, I mean, the symptoms go on and on. But this form of arthritis is autoimmune, which means that the autoimmune system pretty much can't really fight off, what's going on. The inflammation in the joints can actually be controlled, of course, through medicine and, of course, lifestyle changes. And so I control mine with both. But I have had this condition for 19 years. My mom has RA as well as my grandmother. So, we're all warriors in this. Everybody's case is different. But I would say mine is pretty well managed now. It's not super severe, but it's moderate. I still have my days, you know, but I just thank God that things are as well as they are, and that I have the movement and activity of my limbs, because I know there are some people that are actually disabled and unable to work, and you know, it can be very debilitating.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that, because my next question was, how do you deal with that? Because I know we're not here to talk about all of that, but
Right.
for someone
For
who
context.
may be watching this and know, like, they're dealing with, they have RA themselves, or know someone, like, how have you been able to manage it? Like, what would you say has been the keys to you managing it?
Yeah, so I would say the keys have been definitely lifestyle. Now, yes, the medicine helps. I do give myself a weekly injection, but I say this all the time to my clients and everything, like, movement is medicine. The worst thing you can do is to not do anything at all. It does get very tough on those days when you are stiff, when you are in pain, when your joints are swollen, and when you just, you know, all you want to do is just curl up in the bed or on the couch. But really and truly, you should try to get some activity in. And of course, adjusting my diet has helped as well, because before I was officially diagnosed, at my heaviest, I was overweight. I was overweight for my 5'4" frame. I was 220 pounds, okay? And so I was eating all the things. At this point, I lived in Memphis, Tennessee. So it was barbecue this, barbecue that, soul food this. Mexican food is my favorite. Drinking margaritas. I didn't realize I was feeding my disease with food. I was inflammation everywhere. Yes, because the RA actually started in my hands and wrists, but when I started to gain weight, like, it affected all my joints.
My God.
So it wasn't until I got a hold of myself and was like, okay, Ashley, you need to make some changes. And honestly, that's when things started to get better for me. You know, I finally found a medication that worked, and then I started making lifestyle adjustments. And there's no way I would go back to what I was doing. That was just completely unhealthy.
Okay, one more question, and it might be another one. But okay, so based on what you told us, you were diagnosed, you have been managing it well with lifestyle changes. How is it that you came to be a bodybuilder? Because I know, and those who may have done bodybuilding competitions or may be prepping now, you know, like, it is not easy to do.
Yeah.
So tell me, how did you navigate? Because it's days where you are like, I'll say this. I know that at the beginning, when you first start working out, I think there's a reason that a lot of people don't stick with weights is because you get the soreness. Yeah. So how do you deal with that? Because I can't imagine like your muscles being sore, but then you also have your joints that sometimes are going to be affected.
Yeah. So it's several things, but I am very heavy on making sure that my mindset is where it needs to be. Like, I keep God in the forefront of everything that I do. Like, I talk to him all the time. And so, like, just making sure that I'm exercising my faith regularly, that helps keep my mind in check on the high pain days. And when I do have high pain days, let's just say, like, last week, my left wrist was giving me a fit, mainly because we had a lot of rain, and like, it was just, the weather was crazy. That kind of messes with it too. You know, I might not be able to lift as heavy, but when I am lifting, I make sure that I wrap up my joints. I actually developed these wrist straps that give good joint support for my wrist, and it keeps them stabilized so that I don't, you know, twist it the wrong way or anything. And so it gives me the support that I need. So I might not be able to go as heavy. So I may, you know, go lighter with the weights and maybe do more reps, or just switch to a different, you know, body group. I might just do leg day when it's supposed to be shoulder day. So, you know, I just kind of just kind of navigate it the best way that I can, but still making sure that I am supporting my joints the best way possible. And there are some days where I do work through the pain, but I'm very careful. I mean, I don't advise everyone to do that, but I feel like the worst thing I can do, because you have to know your body, the worst thing I can do is just to stop moving at all. Like my whole body would just lock up. So I'm like, I can't stop. I gotta go do something. I'm doing it. And so even when I'm having a high pain day, I still go work out. You know, I might not do the max, but I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something. Yeah.
Good. So so considering last year was your first breakout year, and let me tell y'all, because she probably not going, she sent these credentials and she was very like
I know, I was like, does she want my whole bio? I just typed it in. I didn't send you the whole bio.
I understand, and I know it was at the last minute, but so Ashley had her first bodybuilding competition last year in June, right?
Yep.
Or was it July?
July. It was July.
And during that competition, she also went pro. So if you were here at the beginning and you read her credentials, she went pro in her first competition. Okay, put some respect on her name. And then she turned around and did another competition in November.
In September.
Okay, I'm off on these dates. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
She did. She turned around a couple months later and did another competition. And so, for those of you that don't know, when we do amateur competitions, there's no money.
Right.
We don't get any money. We're getting up there because we love to do bodybuilding. It's not until you become a pro that you actually have an opportunity to win money, but you have to get first place, I think first, second, third, something like that.
Yes.
Ashley won again.
Yeah, I got third place in my first.
She got third place. But she still got some cash. Okay.
Yeah, I was proud.
And so that leads me to the conversation about I don't want to call it rebound, but sometimes that's what is considered the weight that happens after competitions that hardly anyone talks about, but that those that are competitors they end up dealing with, because hopefully they have a good relationship with their coach where they have actually set up a plan. But tell me your experience after the first competition, because even you had from July, so you had August, and so you had a small amount after. So probably I'm guessing that the time in between July and September, you stayed close. But after September, is that where things changed for you?
That's where things changed for sure. So after my first show, like I had my, my little celebration or whatever, and had me a few cheat meals, and then I got right back into it. Because one thing that too kind of kept me on track. So I had my show, I think July 9th, and then that next weekend I did a photo shoot. So I was like, okay, I can't go.
You gotta keep it tight.
Gotta keep it tight.
Yeah.
And I went right back into prep mode for the September show. And so after the September show, and it's not like my coach and I didn't talk about a plan. Like we had a strategy. Like she gave me the reverse diet and everything. But I was just like, after
implementing it.
7-9 months of training, I'm finally
I need a break. Like I need a mental break with some food.
Yes. So listen, I went off the deep end, and that was on me. It was like,
I think that's when we talked. That's shortly around the time we talked, maybe October.
Yes, I think we talked around October, because by then I think I had gained, I don't know, maybe about 20-25 pounds from my stage weight, which was fine. Because I mean, I had to really, again, check my mindset and be like, Ash, you can't walk around lean like that all the
Yeah.
time. Like, when have you ever in your life besides this been 120 pounds? Like, never ever. Like 5th grade, maybe.
Yes. And see, and I'm glad you said that, because that leads to for those of you that have not, that don't, maybe you have not competed before, or you have thought about it, or whatever, whoever ends up watching this video, you're like, when she said you cannot walk around at the stage weight, it is not possible. That is a borrowed body.
It is.
It
Yeah.
is a borrowed body that you can hold on to for maybe 2 weeks, depending on like, and the way you look the day of your competition. 2 weeks later is a very small possibility that you're going to look the same way, unless you stay with a regimen like Ashley did after the July competition. But what she's talking about is so after the competition in September, it's a different mindset. And so that's what we're talking about, how the weight happens because, one, with the, like, we have really cut back on what we are eating.
Right.
And so the calories are really low. We are dieting. Like, the calories are really low, but it's also being monitored by a trainer or a coach that knows what they're doing.
Right.
And then we also, a lot of times the water is different. So the day of the competition, you almost like don't eat very much. Well, you're eating, but it's not a whole bunch of drinking of different stuff.
Exactly.
Because the goal for a competition is for you to peak on, like, for you, but not for you to peak in the morning, not for you to peak the week of. So if you've heard of peak week, I don't want to take over this, but I just want to kind of explain.
Go ahead and give the context, please.
So you may have seen Happy Peak Week or Peak Week for somebody who's competing. That means that this week, whatever work you've done, if you haven't lost it, is no miracles that's going to happen. Like, so the goal is for going into peak week, you want to, every day your body is getting tighter and tighter and tighter. So from Monday to whatever, like maybe your competition is at Saturday. So starting Monday or Sunday, it's going to be a gradual thing, and you're going to start eating. You might do a carb load. Some coaches do different things, but you're peaking, but you don't want to peak too early. You want to peak right when it's time for you to go on stage. Exactly. So you dealt with that. So how was it for you? So tell me, you said that you had a plan. So you had the plan, and just keep it 100. Like, what happened?
Okay. So this is the first thing that happened. So right after the second competition, I had my 20-year high school reunion that next weekend.
Sure did. I remember. Okay.
I did, yeah. So there was no meal prepping that week. Like, so I was eating out, went out to eat with my brothers, went out to eat with family, and, then the reunion came, and, fun, drinks, all that kind of stuff. But even from Saturday to that Thursday before my reunion, I had already gained, I think 17 pounds. Just in that short
time. Stop right there, because I want to give context to what she just said. Yeah. So she said she gained 17 pounds from Saturday to when?
Like Thursday.
Okay. And so in your head, if I'm listening to this, like, how did she gain 17 pounds in less than a week? Remember, there was a lot of things pulled back during the week, and then it was added back. Exactly. So including water. Yes. And so once water is added back, just like when we talking about, you can go to the sauna and take the water out, but once you replenish it, that weight is going to come back. And then secondly, they don't take our weight when you get on stage. Like, so nobody knows what your weight is, you know.
Yeah.
But because, so after the competition, you start eating, you start drinking water, you're going to have carbs. Like even the day after, like you're going to, because you've been home, like you didn't really eat that much. So the carbs are going to cause you to retain water, and there's going to be salt included. And even though we are encouraged to like make sure you drink your water, I don't think there's enough water you can drink to try to chase that sugar and the not necessarily the sugar, but the carbs and the salt. So that's to explain where the weight gain, because it's water weight.
Right.
It's not fat. She probably I can almost guarantee she was still ripped. Okay, keep going.
Well, I was to a certain extent.
Yes.
But because of what I had chose to eat, my stomach had gotten bloated. And my mom told me, stay away from cheese, you know, like you got to work your way
dairy.
Dairy.
You got to work your way back.
But the dairy made my stomach bloat. And that's kind of when my mind started messing with me. I'm like, my abs are gone. Oh my gosh, what's happening? And then, you know, I went through with the reunion and everything. And then once I finally got back to Dallas, I did start to meal prep again. I started on the reverse diet, but then all my friends that I had been putting
Let's
off.
go out. Yes.
Let's do a happy hour. Let's do this. Let's do that. So all of that happened, and like just watching my body go in reverse really did something to my mindset.
It's a mental thing, because the part about it is like I saw myself a couple weeks ago look like I'm ripped up. Like I saw the muscles, I saw the abs I had.
Yeah.
And then to go to where you like, where my abs? Like where my definition?
Yeah.
It's mentally hard. And even as you start to see yourself, as you start to see the definition and the lines go away, tell me what that was like for you.
Yeah, it was, I don't want to use the word devastating. That sounds like such a dramatic word, but it was shocking. It was very shocking. I'm like, I worked my ass off for all these months, and to see all the lines go away. I got sad when my veins went away, because for a while I was very vascular. You could see my veins. And I have 2 veins in my forehead. I'm like, even the veins in my forehead don't went away. And I'm just like, wow. And then I called my coach and I was like, Coach, I'm like, I don't even feel like I look like a bodybuilder anymore. Like I'm going in reverse. Like I don't even look like I just competed. What's happening? And so she, you know, she talked me off the ledge. She did. And, you know, we had a really good heart to heart. And then I think that's when I reached out to you, and I was like, let me reach out to some other competitors too, you know, because I want to make sure that I'm truly not alone in this. And every person that I talked to was like, yeah, we all go through that. Yes. And you just have to prepare yourself for the next time. At least, you know, now you know. And so I will definitely be more prepared mentally and everything, because I feel like this sport, anytime you're doing anything physical, you know, trying to really transform from the inside out, like it all starts with the mindset. It starts and ends there. And so even though I coach on that, you know, with my clients, going through that experience, you gotta
do it yourself.
Yeah.
And
it's not easy at all.
Yeah. It's a thing that you're intentional about it every morning when you wake up. Like you have to be intentional. Yeah. Because as you, I know what I experienced because your clothes, even though you can fit the clothes, they look different. Like my workout outfits, like and I would almost be like say I'm wearing a waist trainer or whatever. Like, okay, I can, if I have to go to this other one, that was kind of became my guide on, okay, you didn't, you need to pull it back. So if you because I know we're talking about bodybuilding, but this really will apply to anyone who is going through a transformation.
Right.
Which is, even though we do diets, ours is very controlled. Versus someone who's doing a diet. And so what would your what would be your advice to someone who maybe they lost a lot of weight and now they're trying to, because they were on a very, like, they might have had a really strict meal plan, and now they're trying to figure out, okay, do I go back to this meal plan? How do I transition back to normal eating without, and keep my sanity without gaining a whole bunch of weight, so that my after pictures don't look crazy?
Right. Yeah. Well, for me, I'm just going to speak from experience. I kept my coach.
That's important.
Yeah. I think maybe we took maybe a month, maybe 2 off, because I'm like, oh, I can do this on my own after she gave me the reverse diet. But I realized that I couldn't. Coaches need coaches too.
Coaches on now too.
Hold me accountable. I needed somebody to answer to, just like my those pictures and answer me. Like, I'm like, I need my coach. So literally, I kept her in my corner, and she, keeps me on a meal plan that works for me and my body. And you just got, it's really all of my, like I said, it's all mindset. It really is. It is. And you've just got to create that discipline to make it a lifestyle, to eat clean, 90, 98, 90% of the time, to have you a cheat meal, once, even I now, I think my cheat meals are getting ready to get cut off, but, allow yourself one cheat meal a week and make it good, make it good, but, enjoy that treat and then get right back on it. So it's just developing that lifestyle and being realistic with yourself, and knowing what works for your body. Because I was listening to an interview. It was something that the Arthritis Foundation had, and they were talking about how culinary medicine can help with inflammation. So pretty much food. And so what the doctor said, choose foods that love you. No, choose foods that you love and love you back. Right. So like food, your relationship with food, like that's a relationship. And they even gave the analogy, you don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that's trying to kill you, right? So why would you be in a relationship with food that is not good for your body? Honestly, the things, even the thing with my meal plan now is all things that's good for my body. It's not going to cause inflammation. So like the dairy, as much as I love pizza, as much as I love cheese,
it don't love you
back. It doesn't love you back. And I'll eat a pizza with no cheese. And honestly, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. So, you just gotta have to find what works for you, and definitely, choose the foods that you love, but that your body loves back too. So
okay, good.
Yeah.
So to sum it up, you're saying, even let's say they are competing, or whether or not, like, keep your, whoever was guiding you, keep them around for that accountability, so that, because the accountability is basically, I know that I'm gonna have a check-in, and that check-in, and for us as that check-in is in a 2-piece.
Right, it is.
And it's gonna tell all the business, whether we say it or not.
Oh yeah.
So keeping the coach, stand with your coach, and having some flexibility based on how you're doing, but also understanding that if you're doing a whole bunch, and I don't want to use the word cheat, but if you're doing a lot of free foods that are not on the plan that your coach gave you, there's probably a good chance that you're not going to have that free choice meal or the cheat meal that actually because you already been cheating. Oops.
Yeah.
So, I think because I didn't want to make this long, but I think that we talked about the post-show weight gain, the importance of a plan, how to avoid the excess weight gain, and the mental and emotional challenges of the because I know for me, it was just when you seeing your body change, it's and you see the definition, like you said, the best, like if you're not as vascular, like dang, when is it like, because when it pops up, you get so used to seeing it, and then when you don't see it, and or even when you have this, when this is like, oh, it's the craziest thing that we look at. But I remember when we had the conversation in October, and I might end up changing this title because it's the weight gain after a transformation is really what this is about.
Yeah.
It's not it because it's a transformation, whether we got on stage or not, there was an amazing transformation that you had. I want to make sure that they are following you, that anyone is watching this, or if they're listening to this, that they follow you, and also give us information on how to get your wristbands.
Okay. Yes. So they're on my website, rawarriorfitness.com. Just click on shop and you'll see the wrist straps there along with some other merchandise, but they are created to support and stabilize your wrists for weightlifting or any weight bearing activities. And I never work out without mine, ever. I always have them. So that'll definitely help. But yeah.
You said
rawarriorfitness.com.
Okay. And then you said they can click on shop.
Click on shop.
Okay. And then what is how can they follow you are you on TikTok and Instagram?
Okay. Yes, I am on Instagram at Ashnick, ASHNIC _ Warrior Fitness. And I'm trying to get in the groove on TikTok. I post sporadically, but it's the same. Ashnick, ASHNIC _ Warrior Fitness.
You are missing out on TikTok. There are probably people that may end up being like drawn to what you talk about, because although it says it's RA Warrior Fitness, for the person that has it, there's you've created your own community, and I'm sure that there's a lot of different communities,
right?
But the fact that, because it's dealing with autoimmune, right?
It is, yeah.
So you don't have to dance.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Here's the thing: the videos, the reels that you have on Instagram, repurpose them and share them on TikTok.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been like. I might have like maybe, I don't know, 10 TikToks up there now, but many people have been telling me you need to get on TikTok. Like you can find your ideal client or your community. Like you need to get on TikTok. So
that's what I was thinking about. I'm thinking about the wristbands, because
even
I've seen videos, I think maybe on your stories, where you have a version of the gym at home. Like I haven't seen, and I'm sure that there's other people doing it, but I have only seen you share that. So man, if you heard it before, this she said I've gotten a lot of, so Felicia said she's gotten a lot of, so she said she's gotten a lot of clients off TikTok. I highly encourage you to start this. If you share it on, because you know how to save your video. The only thing about it is that you'll just have to, if there's sound, you'll have to have a new sound. So maybe because if you talk over it, then you'll have, that's the only thing about it, is that you will, like, if you save a video that you did, because
on
I don't know, depending on if you're making it outside of Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're doing it and you're doing all the editing outside of those things, then you can save it and then just share it to both.
Okay.
So the fact that your coach just told you that she has gotten clients off TikTok,
Yeah.
that should be another confirmation
Okay.
that it's time for you to take RA Warrior Fitness to TikTok and blow it up.
All right, it's happening.
Look, now that I know, I'm gonna be all in your inbox saying, where are you at? Where are you? Now I'm gonna be on your back.
Yes, yes.
So,
oh my God, I'm so glad we had this conversation.
Me
Thank
too.
you so much. I hope that it blesses someone, helps someone, but just know that, you know, you're not alone. You can absolutely reach out to us, and you know,
Yes. So I'm going to share it, I believe, on YouTube and also on my podcast. But I want to make the thing is like Ashley said, you want to make sure that whether you're doing a transformation and you ever get on stage or not, if you've gotten to a point where you are in the middle of transformation or you are getting ready to do a competition this year, it is important for you to have a plan in place, because unless I don't know, because at the beginning, a lot of times we just don't know, and there's not a lot of people, because there may have been a conversation that you had beforehand, but you was like, oh, okay, I'll be okay. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm mentally, like, I'm good. But then it's not until later that,
in that moment,
because you said you have been prepping for 7 months. So that's a long time. And a lot of times the preps are very long. And when they are long, it is even harder for you to go back to a routine, because even the reverse is, for me, when I look at it, seems like a lot of food.
Yeah. Yes. Same. Oh yes.
It seems like a lot of food.
Tell you, like, I'm like, Coach, a whole cup of oatmeal measured dry? What? Like, it seemed like a lot of food. But you know, it's all good food, clean food, and it all serves a purpose. But you know, that was overwhelming. And one other thing too, I wanted to mention that I didn't mention. It was right on the tip of my tongue. Can't believe I can't remember.
I'm gonna answer Rodney's question.
Okay,
if
go ahead.
you think of it, say, hey, I remember. Okay. He said he has a question about taking protein shakes. I just started taking them for the first time. Rodney, what is your specific question about protein shakes? Because not all protein shakes are created equal. Some of them are full of a whole bunch of junk.
Yeah.
And fillers. And sometimes I was at Winco earlier, and I was getting some plant-based. I was trying some plant-based protein for the first time, and there were 2 different cans. And I will say this: while Ashley have you thought of it?
No, I'm sitting here, my wheels are turning, but keep going. If I don't think I'm fine.
Because a lot of times people will ask me, what kind of protein should I get? It doesn't, I say whey isolate. The whey isolate is going to be really good. It's easy to digest. So even if someone may have issues with digesting, maybe like if they have lactose stuff, then the whey isolate is going to be a little bit gentler on the stomach. But also you want to make sure that you don't have a lot of fat, so that you're like, the grams of fat should be like 3 or less. If you can find one that has 0 fat, that's great. Your carbs should be no more than 5. Like, you want to have some fiber in it if possible. Because I said carbs, and then the actual protein should be at least anywhere from 20 to 30. Because if it's less than that, I'm like, what is it?
Beneficial.
What's in it? Yeah. He said, let's just say I'm having problems with using the restroom, if you know what I mean. Okay, so Rodney, I'm gonna ask you, how much water are you drinking? Because protein in itself, if you're drinking enough water, is not okay. He said, I just answered the question. If you're not drinking enough water, it is going to be a problem, and it will have you constipated because sorry, I look at it because you need that. You need to keep that water going, because just because you have the protein, you still need to get the fiber from the vegetables and all that kind of stuff. Ashley, I don't want to take over, so
no,
do you want to add anything to that?
What I was gonna say. The brain fog. That's
I want to know, and now I feel bad because
no,
I think I was over talking.
no. Keep talking, because it's there, but I can't remember exactly.
Okay, so it was about the meal, about the extra food. Was it about the extra food?
It just completely left me. Like I had the thought.
Well, I'm sure it'll come to you later, and
It will, as soon as we end the live.
Yes, and maybe we can circle back, because your competition is going to be in June.
Yes,
okay.
June.
Okay, so it'll be in June.
Wellness too, from figure. So I'm switching to wellness.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm really excited about it, because even though I feel like I did pretty well in figure, I think I'll do even better in wellness, because the way my lower body develops, like
that'll be to your advantage.
Yes, absolutely.
Because they want you to be a stick.
Right. And because, my upper body, like, because of the wrist issues that I have, like, it's really hard for me to pull, push, lift super heavy. Yes. Like, to try to build this up.
That's good. I'm so glad. I don't know whose idea it was, but I'm so glad that you made the switch. And it's, now that you think about it, it's a great idea, because of, you don't want to put too much pressure, because there's life outside of bodybuilding, and you don't want to put you don't want to put anything at risk for having issues on down the line because of bodybuilding.
Exactly. Yeah, because when I talked to my rheumatologist last year, it was like maybe, I guess, 3 or 4 months before my actual competition. She was not happy.
Saying that.
Bursted my bubble, like, hurt my feelings so bad. I was so excited to tell her what I was doing, but she was like, your wrists are too weak, your wrist. I'm like, I protect my wrists. I'm like, I know, I deal with these wrists every day. So, she could have had a little bit more tact, but I really do think she was genuinely concerned, because I do have severe joint damage in my wrist, because I went 6 years before I was officially diagnosed.
Oh, wow.
First 6 years, like, I wasn't taking anything but Aleve, Tylenol, because that's what urgent care told me to do. So by the time I made it to a rheumatologist, like, I had severe joint damage in the wrist. So I really do have to be careful.
Okay.
When I'm, leaning out, because as you can see, like, there's
it's not much there already.
Small wrist. Yeah. So I gotta protect these babies.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. That makes so much sense. So I don't want to keep you much longer, but we'll definitely have to circle back or have another broadcast after you win.
Yes, after I
in
win.
June.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much for the idea of doing this, and for sharing your experience with going from ripped to being a little bit not as clean. It's round. And people think we're crazy, because it's like, but you still look good, but I looked like that a few months ago.
Yeah, like, it really messes with your mind. But I'm definitely prepared this go round. And so, we don't have our plan in place. I'm gonna follow that plan, and still enjoy myself, but I know not to go way off the deep end to the left.
And then I would guess that also keeping people around you that support your goals and that know what's going on, is going to encourage you, as opposed to, girl, don't worry about it. So if y'all or whoever's watching this and you have friends that are not as supportive as you like, understand that that's normal, but also understand that it's okay for you to set boundaries on the access that they have to you. Because if whether it's a bodybuilding competition or if it's a transformation that you've made as a lifestyle, you want to make sure that you have people that are supportive of the choices that you've made and that are not going to help you self-sabotage what you have worked hard for. Because trust me, if Ashley, and she is very small, can gain 17 pounds of water weight in less than a week, and she has if you don't have one, it can be easier for you to put it on, because there are other people that I'm sure you've seen where they put on 20, 30 pounds. And I'm still like, I don't even understand how.
Yeah.
Because it seems like that would be hurt. Like that would hurt.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, we probably may end up having some other conversations as we're going along, because I think it's important that, because some of the people that you're connected with may not even know what you go through. And unless they are talking to you often, they don't know a lot of the stuff I'm not gonna say deal with it, but I don't know anyone who did a bodybuilding competition and came out the same. It completely changes your thinking, and I would be surprised if someone completely went back, because you're hyper aware.
Very much so. Very much so.
Hyper aware. All right, I'm not gonna take your head off, but thank you so much for joining us.
So thank you.
Guys, go and follow Ashley. She's on Facebook up under Ashley Nicole. rawarriorfitness.com is the website. If you know someone, or if you're looking for some arm straps, I'm actually gonna go and see what she has. She also has some. You have in your the seasoning on there?
Yeah, it's under the shop and affiliates.
Okay, perfect.
Shop
and then what'd you say it was on Instagram?
Ashnick, ASHNIC _RA Fitness.
Okay. So please go follow her and support her and encourage her whenever you see her stories, because her stories are so very funny and they're very entertaining and educational. Thank you, Ashley, for joining and for sharing your insight on going from ripped to round, and sharing the tips with us on how to avoid the weight gain after competing, or even after you have a transformation.
Absolutely.
Anything
else
you want to say before we go?
No, I think that's it. Thank you so much for having me and making this a safe space for us to, really talk about the real deal, you know, because like this is a topic that a lot of people don't openly talk about, which is why I reached out to you. I reached out to my coach, reached out to you, reached out to a couple of other competitors, and it's not talked about. And I did Google it, post-show blues, and I'm like, this is a thing. This is a thing. That's one thing that I was going to mention, is that, like, I didn't know if it was normal, for me to be feeling the way that I was feeling. But as I started to research it, I'm like, this is really a thing.
Yeah, we be over here going through it quiet and not telling nobody.
Yeah. And
that's the worst thing that we can do, because I think we feel like, okay, is this normal? Should we be feeling this way?
Yeah. So that would be my lasting words is, don't sit over there and go through things alone, because 9 times out of 10, somebody else has been through it too, and they can give you the support, talk you through it, and just know that you don't have to go through anything by yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much again. And until next time, I will talk with you, and you have an amazing rest of your day and week. Okay.
You too, Felicia. Thank you.
Thank you.